Hi, I'm Jo Martin and welcome to Jo&Co, the place to be for inspiration and information to help you change your corner of the world. We're all about leaders here at Jo&Co and wanting to help you step up and make your greatest contribution in the world. And in order to do that, one of the things you have to get exquisite at is managing your own time and energy, which is why so many of our conversations are focused around that particular skill set. Now, I'm reading a really great book at the moment. It's this one. It's called Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McGowan. I think that's how you say it. And there's some really great distinctions around why it's so important to do less in order to achieve more. Great read, highly recommend it. Now, one of the things that he talks about here is saying no to opportunity and saying no to things that you don't want to do. The person who is the most effective at making their biggest contribution in the world is actually the person who says no to things they want to do. It's about being able to say no to everything except that which is most essential to you and aligned with your values. Now, this is something he doesn't really talk about. It's about how important it is to know your own values, what's important to you, and that every scrap and moment of your day is aligned with those values. But it's a key distinction to appreciate and understand. The reason though, many of us know, oh, we should say no, a bit more. We're spread too thin, we're juggling too many hats and so on. We recognize that if we really want to take business to the next level, or if we really want to get our non-profit off the ground, or if we really want to make a difference in our relationship because our poor spouse is the person who gets the least and the last of our energy, then what we're going to need to do is start saying no. However, we know that one of the things I've noticed of the women especially that I coach is that we don't say no because we hate those words. We don't like to let people down. We don't like to upset people. We think that they're going to be terribly upset if for some reason we say that little two-letter word no. So one of the things that I have realized over the years is that if we give people a template for being able to say no gracefully, to be able to make a polite decline, it makes all of the difference in the world, and that's what I'd like to share with you today. It's a really simple little strategy which, when you implement it, means that you can be saying no to an opportunity or an invitation without saying no to the person. And that's a crucial distinction, because what we don't want to do, and the reason we don't say no enough, is because we want to please and we don't want to upset people. By distinguishing the person from the opportunity, we can make all of the difference in the world. So let me give you this really simple little template. Try it out this week and see how you go. So someone in the office comes and asks for your help on a project that's not under your remit and you don't really have time to do it. You'd like to, but you know that you have other competing priorities. Or maybe someone from the village knocks on the door and says, could you bake a cake for the cake stall in the village fair? Or whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter what the request is. Your mother-in-law asks you around for Sunday lunch, but you've already got a previous engagement. How do you say no without upsetting people? Step one is to say thank you. Just those few little words, by saying thank you, acknowledges that the person has thought about you, that they care for you, that they'd like your input. So thank you can sound like any one of a number of different things, but it might be, oh, thank you so much for the opportunity to help you out, or thank you so much for thinking of me, or thank you, that's a really kind offer. Just that little piece is a really great place to start. Step number two is really simple. This is where you make your polite decline. And it's really important at this point not to make a million excuses, and try to avoid words like I'm too busy. I hate using those words, I'm too busy, because all that does is keep you in that busy state so that you can say no to people, right? Busyness is not a badge of honor, as we talked about in a Jo&Co episode recently. I'm not sure which one it was. So when it comes to saying no, then you could be something as simple as saying, thank you for asking, but that's not going to work for me, or I can't help you out this time, or I'm sorry, I can't. Simple as that. You don't even have to give explanations. And that then takes you on to step 3, where you can give them a moment of your time to help them work it out in collaboration. You may or may not add this step. But I always like to do it if I've got time in the moment when I'm being asked. And that is to say, but who do I know that could support you? Or maybe we could do it at another time if it's something you want to do, but you literally, it's not a priority for you this week. For instance, lunch at the mother-in-law's, right? So work it out then in collaboration with them so that they feel like you've helped them out in some way. If you need to or wish to, or it is maintaining the relationship is important to you. Having said all of that simple 3-step model, number 1, acknowledge. Number 2, make your polite decline. And number 3, work it out should you wish to. If someone asks you to do something and they're not someone who you need to maintain a relationship with, if it's just someone in the street that asks you for something, a contribution to their charity, for instance, that you're not particularly interested in because you give somewhere else, or if it's someone who emails you in from your community and you've got a community of like 10,000 people and says, can we have a coffee? And you don't even know them, right? If it's not important for you to maintain the relationship, sometimes it will be. You use the 3 steps if it is important for you to maintain the relationship. But if maintaining that relationship is not crucial to you, it's not essential for you, it's not core to you being able to make your greatest contribution in the world, then that's the time to say, no, thank you. And that's it. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to acknowledge it. You don't need to say, not this year, or any of that sort of stuff. Because what you don't want to do in those situations is leave any possibility or opening that maybe you will help them out sometime down the road. Do you see what I'm talking about? So get really clear. When someone asks, is this person someone I need to maintain the relationship with? Do I want them to think that there's an opportunity for me to help them out down the road? If so, choose your response appropriately. It's either just a no thank you and move on, or you go through your little model, acknowledge them, make your decline, and work it out in collaboration. I hope that little model is going to help you say no. So I want you to have a look this week. What could you say no to bring back more of your precious time and energy for your own sense of self, your own power, and your ability to make your contribution in the world? Let me know how you go with it. I look forward to hearing.